Welcome to the Best of Not So PG. I'm Brooke, my pronouns are she and her.
I'm Maddie Mills, my pronouns are he and him. And before we get started, we'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land on which we record. For me, that's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, that's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation.
Now, Brooke, you rose to fame with The Bachelorette being the first ever Indigenous/queer contestant. And obviously there's been a lot of questions about it. So in this episode, we're going to take a trip down Bachie Lane to hear all the goss from during and after the show.
I'm excited. I'm looking at some handsome man across the room.
Oh.
It's not Maddie.
It's not me. Guys, if you're listening, it's not me. This guy is handsome and rich.
Finally.
Today we have Isaac Compton. How are you, darling?
I'm wonderful. How are you two going?
We're good.
We've been mates and we've been getting to know you online over COVID and then sort of, became friends and, you're one of those people in our community that has bring so much positivity to the online space. And now you've sort of translated that onto mainstream television. Like, you are a good person to watch on TV.
It was very emotional. We'll get into it a little bit more. Like, I want to talk about, how do you even get to the summit?
Oh, yeah.
Like physically?
Bus.
or onto the show?
Well, yeah, like we've known each other for a while, all three of us. We've all hung out at times. I know that, you do so many other things with your platform and then all of a sudden I'm seeing you on the summit. I'm like, wow, like this is, I love seeing Mob on other reality shows, because that was my journey. But then seeing other people, like now, there's so many more, like Bianca Hunt was on Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, and then just...
Royston was on Australian Idol.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like, it's so good to see more representation. But then I'm like, bruh, I'm not signing up for the summit. But I'll sign up for Celebrity Get Me Out of Here.
I had no idea what I was signing up for.
Yeah, okay.
I was thinking, it's going to be a nice little holiday. I haven't been to New Zealand.
Is that where it was shot? New Zealand?
New Zealand, yeah.
Wow.
Down South Island. I was not expecting it to be that hard. And leading up to the show, the producers were like, have you been exercising? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, mate, I've been going on walks and hitting the gym, doing cardio, and I got found out on day 3.
Yeah.
I saw that episode. Yep.
Yeah, it was.
But
when I was getting the rub down on the side of a ridge.
Yeah, it was hot.
I was like,
It actually made it into the edit. When I was getting a rub down there, Phil actually said, would you like a happy ending?
oh,
Go
yeah.
back and watch it. He actually says, do you want a happy ending?
Oh,
And
my
it made it to the
God.
end.
We have to go, yeah. We'll
Well,
just
you did
insert
get
that
your happy
clip there.
ending. You won.
Well, yeah. And goes to show that you don't really need to be the fittest to win something like this, though.
Absolutely.
It's a mental game, right?
A lot of the fitter guys had the idea of it was just going to be physically challenging, which it was. But I think they just missed that there's a social element to it too.
Truly. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's all I went in with. I was like, I'm just going to make everyone love me
Yeah.
and they're going to get me to the top. And they did.
Yeah, because you're a personable guy.
He's a manipulator. I saw
Well,
those-
if you read the comment section, yeah.
Obviously, at the start of the show, there was a bit of a storyline that you were on Struggle Street a bit with the, the physical aspect of it, and you were going to, be at the back of the pack. But when the format of these shows, the people at the back of the pack are the people that at the end get closer to the front. So
Steaming down the back.
when you were in that position, were you thinking strategy the whole time?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
The moment you see it when we actually started, the 4 of them went out the front.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, check out these guys over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the alpha ones.
They've got to go. They've got to go.
Because you know what? I feel like they come out of the woodwork. You will know, like, people show themselves for their true selves eventually.
Yeah.
Like, they can't hide, behind these facades and, there's different, you pick who's the alpha straight away because they're always the loudest, eh? And they're not always the ones that are going to win. Like, how many times are always the person that's like, I've got this in the bag. Bruh, I'm taking your bag.
That is funny. I remember
I'm stealing your money. I'm stealing your money.
I literally turned on the show one day, and the first thing that was on the screen was this guy, and he was like, I don't care about your story. I'm here for the money. Like, it was like one of those pieces to camera.
Oh, you chancy pants.
And so
Was that the one that was like this real, like, surfy kind of dude?
Giving Conrad vibes?
Vegan.
But tell us, Isaac, like the process and like the shooting period. What did a day-to-day look like for you on the show?
You were getting up at 7, then you couldn't say anything to anyone because you had to be mic'd up.
Yep.
So, and you learn when you go on those shows that if it's not on camera, it didn't happen.
Truly.
As you know too. Like, so you have to wait for all that, and then you pack your sleeping bag. If there was water around, you washed your face, your pits and bits.
Yeah.
It's too cold to actually get right into the water. We did the first couple of days, but then the higher you got, it was just like, nah, I'm good. I'll just
got
put some deodorant on, keep going. And then it was, you started trekking and you just walked until you got to a challenge or whatever it was that you were coming up to next. But there were long days, and it doesn't really translate on the show how long it was, but they were long days.
Yeah.
And because daylight, it's like 16 hours or 15 hours of daylight, which is why I think they filmed in New Zealand. So you were walking for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And in that, they've got you've got to stop for it to change batteries and all that there. But see,
you got to do a gunner.
Yeah. Well, about that. There was portaloos there, but they were only at the campsites.
Oh.
So you made sure you went in the morning.
Yes.
Wow.
And you held it until you got there.
Oh, wow.
You just clog yourself up with some nasty lollies or something.
Well, this is the thing too, like, we were eating dehydrated food for breakfast and dinner.
Wow.
We got like a sandwich and whatnot for lunch, but it was dehydrated food and it wasn't coming out solid.
Oh,
so
that's nasty.
You definitely wanted to hold that in.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Too afraid
All the
to fart.
inside, eh? Too scared.
I heard a little rumor that someone did do
A gunner?
someone
Really?
did
In their
do one.
pants, yep.
But along the trek, I won't say who, but
Give us the ghost now.
I won't say who, but I heard that someone did do a
Do you
number
think?
two.
Because
Wow.
there's so much to it. I mean, that would be pretty hard, and then actually the physical aspect of it, and then the social aspect. Like, what was the hardest part of all of those?
The mental side of it for me. The physical was hard, and like getting over it was more like my fear of heights and trusting the safety gear.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't until
Anything man-made can fail.
yeah, like it wasn't until day 9 that I actually went, all right, I'm going to trust, and just left all of that, that worry and all that behind. It was when I got to the cliff face and we had to scale the 200 meters.
Yeah.
I just went, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to worry about this anymore, and just
go
climb
for it.
the shit out.
Was
of
that the ladder?
cliff. No, not the ladder.
that-
I was still shitting by that stage.
Yeah.
No, it was the cliff face where we had to scale up 200 meters. The one that Josh left before I threw him off the mountain.
Oh,
You're like,
Throw him off
see
the
ya,
mountain.
bye.
No, when I got to the top of that, like the feeling that I had,
Yeah.
like I can't even describe it. It was such a warm feeling, like of accomplishment. Like I just left my fear behind.
wow.
Have you scaled anything before?
Never
like
done.
rock climbing or...
A couple of women.
Have you seen the show? No way had I done anything like that. I'd attempted abseiling when I was like 12.
Yeah, go.
And they touch on it a little bit. When we were doing abseiling on the show, I didn't realise I held that fear and like that trauma from an accident that I'd had when I was 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so when I attempted to do it again, I slipped and I was like, fuck this, I'm not going down that. And it took a lot of convincing from Alex on that radio
Yeah.
to get me to go down. Like they did it in like 15 seconds, but he was on there for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. I saw in your post today that you thanked Alex.
Yeah. He was my buddy.
Yeah.
We slept together, like, not that way, but I would have, yeah.
No, you spooned.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tell us the details. Keep going.
Bit of warmth.
He's a big dude and it's cold.
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you know how much money you were going to get out of this?
Nah, didn't know until.
So you're just going in blind, being like, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to get to the top if I win.
Yeah.
And
we were thinking, like, there was going to be $1 million. We didn't realise we could lose that much along the way. We thought we could, and, like, we had theories. Maybe we were going to get all the money we'd lost back at the end and whatnot.
Yeah. All the scenarios, as you do.
And because it's a new show, new concept, there's no former seasons to draw on. You just going in blind.
Wow.
That's how I felt when I was going on the challenge. And then when they said it was $200,000 split, I was like, bruh.
What? $20 each?
Have you seen the economy we live in?
Yeah, I was like, that's not paying for anything.
So I've
No.
always wondered this about shows like this. Do you get the money when you finish filming, or do you have to sign a contract and wait until they put it to air so that you don't tell people and then you get paid?
I'm just showing Brooke my bank account right now.
Oi.
I am a broke black man.
So they haven't
They haven't paid me
fucking
yet.
paid you.
So they hold off paying until after the.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
think
must
it's like
be
a month
excited for that
after.
money to hit your account, bruds.
I'm over that, it's,
What are you going to do with the $250,000 that you've won?
Give me a loan.
Nah, you better be. that mother of yours really
You
made.
and every other cousin.
Your
cousin
mum.
I got
Oh,
an
yeah, they're going to be coming out the woodwork, you remember me?
Yeah.
100%. I was talking to Shari about you, and she said I'm going to send him a message and say loan. And did she do it?
I took a screenshot of it.
That is great. I love that.
It's a picture of you too.
Oh, great. There was a beautiful moment on the show where you got to FaceTime with your mum, and she sent a video to you, and that was a really beautiful moment between you and your mum. It seems like you guys have the best relationship. I've seen it both online, but now obviously on TV.
Yeah.
Was she or one of your main inspirations when going on the show?
Oh, absolutely. Like me and Mum have a long history. So it goes right back to before I was born.
Wow.
So my mum had a miscarriage, not a miscarriage, sorry, stillbirth, and gave up on having kids.
Wow.
And then she was down in Mildura doing grape picking with Dad and all that. And I'm just trying not to get too emotional.
That's right.
And then she went to the doctors because she thought she was dying. Found out she was pregnant with me.
Wow.
It was the happiest moment of her life. And, well, as she would say. And so that's why they named me Isaac, because it means laughter.
Oh.
And we've just been, I don't know, best mates ever since.
Oh, I love
when,
that.
When mum and dad divorced, all the other kids went with dad. I stayed with mum. We've just been, we've been pretty close for most of my life.
That's so deadly. That's why you're such a. I think that you're such a kind, like soft-hearted man. Like I love that you've had so much influence from your mum. And it was a beautiful thing to see on national TV. Are you going to give her a cut or what? This money.
So she's been talking about this kitchen for the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh, don't.
So I'm just going to buy her a kitchen.
Oh, that's so
she gonna
beautiful.
love that.
It's quite funny too. Like my dad messaged me. He's like, "Oi, I had a hand in raising you too, mate, because I talk about mum so much." On the show.
Yeah.
And I
He's
went-
like, I'm here.
I was like, I spoke about you, but they love the mum and me story. So whatever I spend on mum's kitchen, I'll give dad the
Even
same
cut.
amount too.
Oh, I love that.
That's really beautiful.
My siblings ain't getting nothing though.
No.
There's 6 of them, and there's 13 nephews and nieces. Mate, I'll be broke before.
Yeah, don't
Oh,
worry.
Oh, nah, I know.
No, don't worry about them. Off the back of the
That'd
show,
be right.
off the back of the show, you're a single man. Well, that's what we know. Off the back of the show, have there been some people who have been sliding into your DMs trying to get some Isaac?
Some Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac, Nick.
Yeah, I put Dick and Isaac together. I said Isaac.
Hi, Nick.
Isaac. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you lick afterwards as well.
Nasty girl. No.
There's been a few, interesting messages that have been coming through.
Well, you're famous now.
But I'm no Brooke Blurton or Maddie Mills.
Oh, well, I mean, look.
Why did you just cringe?
She did
I'm
that.
not famous. No, I'm not famous.
No,
It's
but
funny.
you know what? It's just so cool to see you win because, like, I feel like you really deserve this. You obviously, like,
You do.
put a lot of smiles on people's faces during the pandemic, during, when you sort of first came online, and now to see you win at this level, it's bloody awesome, bros.
We're so proud of you. And I know your mum's proud of you. Your dad's proud of you. I think everyone's proud. I just think it's just boss that you've been able to take this away. And for you and for your family. It's so good. Like, it's like, I think money it comes and goes, but I think, I think the whole thing of the representation, showing black humour as well on a show like that can be taken so serious.
Yeah.
So I think, it's shown such a different light, and I think I really appreciate you for that as well.
I was laughing at myself. I was like, what?
I'm
so black on that show.
Yeah.
I'm so black on that show. Like,
Yeah, you were
singing got
actually you were a
me.
walking Aboriginal flag at some point, 3 colours. I was like, black,
Actual-
yellow, red, gone then. No, I loved it. So what's next? What is next for Isaac Compton?
I'm going to
Yeah.
take a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've done one
It's a
TV
lot.
show. I've got to take a break. Oh, please. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, you dabble a little bit in everything, eh? So mountain climbing,
Yeah.
rapping, comedian,
Rapping.
singing, dancing. Oh, shit.
Full-time gammon.
Yeah. That's blackfellas though.
Full-time gammon. Fucking cheeky dog.
Nah, I think if people wanted to follow your journey from this point on, where would be the best place? I know that they took your socials from you. When do you get them back?
Oh,
Next
yeah,
week.
sure.
Next week. In a week.
Great.
In a week. Oh, I can't wait to.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I feel like I've just lost a part of myself.
Yep.
Yeah. I was
Like, and
missing your
I had
content.
to hand over my TikToks too. Both TikTok accounts.
Wow.
And my Instagram. They let me keep my music because it's my work account, but
Yeah.
The paranoia of if I had to do that, of them going through my DMs. Were you like, fuck, how do I delete everything? How do I reset this phone? Reset this account?
There were a couple of people that messaged me and went, I had to just unsend a
Yeah.
picture that I sent to you. I'm like, why did you send me a picture for what?
There's some lovely PR person at Channel 9 viewing these pictures.
Taking screenshots.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look, there was
I'm
a
so
very,
glad I wasn't
very-
in the era of giving away
very-
like my
Oh,
socials.
you got to keep yours.
Yeah.
Brooke and I spoke to each other when she was on the show. Like, she wasn't allowed to. She had
I was
a burner
sneaky
phone.
dog. I took a burner phone.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I know.
She did.
I
Oh,
did.
this on the challenge.
No, the Bachelorette. I know. No, I was like, they're not taking my phone. My family need me. Like,
And I was
I'm
gonna-
message them and say if they're okay.
Legit. And I was going to come in
Yeah.
and like help her decide the final two. And she was messaging me like, I like this fella. I don't like this one. But I also had the idea this week that I wanted to be better with my finances. So it's like I've worked hard enough now to be able to be, to be able to buy my own stuff and feel really comfortable with myself and my spending. But I want to be able. When I was growing up, I never got told what to do with my money or how to invest my money or even things like tax and stuff. A lot of blackfellas, a lot of my friends, who I speak to about this stuff, like when we were younger, we just never got taught how to properly spend or be frugal or be able to invest our money wisely. So I'm actually on the hunt for a financial advisor or counselor to be able to help me with my spending. And it's going to be like, I'm going to start to do a bit of a salary sacrifice where my money comes in and I put a percentage of it away and invest a percentage of my money, or I save a bit and invest a bit. And so my manager is currently helping me sort of figure this out because we looked at sort of what was coming in over the last year, and it's like, okay, we're at a level now where we can really start to think about this, because I don't want to just be able to make money and then not know what is the payoff. Like, yes, the money's one thing, but when I'm 40 years old, what do I have? You know, what are the assets that I have? What are the investments that I have that are going to help me more long term? So I'm starting to sort of change the dial with my spending instead of just being like, oh, yeah, you get paid and, you know, you don't worry about where it goes.
I think this is really important because I think the main word you used was long term.
Yeah.
And I think what I've learned over the years of sort of since 2018 per se, so only in the 5 years that I've been part of this industry,
Yep.
is I'm very good at saving. I think
Yep.
because I've lived with very little, that money for me is quite precious, and I make a lot go from a little.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm very generous with my friends and money. I think
Yep.
I'm very generous with my family and friends with money.
Yes.
But within myself and like, you know, other people or other things, I'm like, nah, I'd rather just keep saving and saving. So I definitely feel like I'm on that journey with you.
Yeah.
But then when post Bachelorette, when you sort of get this big influx of money, you're like, fuck, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
For me, it was just like sitting there. And obviously you get taxed on it, and having a business, you have to do tax, etc. But again, like, who do you look to for help with this?
Yeah.
So unless, you know, and I think this is also really important. I think blackfellas don't really know how to manage their money. We see a lot of, and not to generalize as well, by the way, but we see a lot of footballers.
Yep.
You know, they get drafted at these young ages of like 18. They, you know, get paid all of this money to play this sport. Then they have an injury, and that sort of impacts their career, and then they're basically left with nothing.
Yeah.
And we're setting them up for failure. And I think now there's more programs a part of, you know, these industries that are offering that support, which is really important. But it's kind of like always word of mouth, like who you know. Like you kind of have to reach out and find, I feel like, people who you might know that look like they've got the shit together, or might know, like, you know, where to go with that sort of stuff. I mean, I did personally. I asked my tax accountant. I was like, hey, look, I want to invest. Like, where do I put my money?
Yeah.
I work so hard for every single cent. I'm like, I'm not going to throw it away for some fucking, like, inconsistent data thing. Like, no way. Not data.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. It's a big risk.
It is.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably other mob feel the exact same way with their money, like, you know, saving every single little penny. Like, but I would give my last $20, obviously, to my family, you know, like
totally.
we're very generous in that sense.
Yeah.
I just kind of feel like with my spending and saving, I've kind of got a little bit more stingy over the years.
Yeah, which is a good thing. I think that's good. Like, for being a bit more frugal is something that I aspire to be.
Well, yeah. I was 18 and I was working for a mining company. Don't hold it against me.
Yep.
And I was on some big money.
Yep.
And one of their values, ironically, which they're a mining company, like, let's be honest, was frugality. And so I learned how to make a lot from a little, from a young age. And so I knew sort of, and I had that skill in this company, and they really really admired that, which was great. But then I was like, this conflicts with my values. So I left, but it also like set me up for my future. Like definitely being on a good paycheck at a very young age kind of set me up. But yeah, I got into some debt as well. Like, I was a bit stupid with my money. I bought a car, and so I was in debt for like 5 years. Uni bills, you know, like hex, there's a lot. But I think now, like, picking and choosing where I want to work and, you know, knowing my value and knowing my worth also really, really helps with that.
Yeah. I think one of the main things for me is I like to spend, and I like to spend in ways that I probably shouldn't. Like, I like the idea of, you know, I have a bougie mindset. And I need to like just live a little bit under that because sometimes I find that I'll just let things go. Like I'll just spend on, you know, A, B, C, D, F, G and then regret that I've spent because it's not an investment. It's just literally throwing money away, you know? So like, I feel like I need to be more strategic in what I'm spending my money on, but also I give a lot of money away to my family, you know? So I think that I need to figure out what is a good balance between being a good person who supports their mob and someone who is able to still be generous, but also maybe not in a financial way.
Again, it's like the boundaries that you want to have in place that will sort of be able to determine, like, you know, what you can and can't, like what you can do, what you feel like isn't your responsibility. But
yeah,
I mean, it's hard because family are always, you know, so you know, you always want to give back to your family and community and help them and, you know, elevate them. But at the same time, you're like, well, do I have the means to do this?
Yep.
Not a lot of people know this. I mean, my brothers found themselves in a lot of debt. And when I got my Bachelorette paycheck, which is such a weird thing to think that I got paid to fall in love. Isn't that weird? But I was also getting paid to film a TV show. So
yeah.
I guess that's what I sort of see it as.
Yeah.
You know, I helped support my family get out of their debt.
Yep.
And that was kind of, I guess it was a bit annoying, to be honest. I know that sounds really inconsiderate, but it was just annoying. Like I had to fix other people's problems, like that weren't my own.
Totally.
But that's what you sort of do for family. And now they sort of, you know, not pay me back in ways, but I feel like our relationship is better because they're not so stressed out.
Yes.
And they're not so like holding that and carrying that burden of that debt. I mean, it's seeking advice. It's seeking, you know, expertise, which is definitely out of our realm. And I think it's also education. Like I've done a few little finance courses to understand about my business, you know, about sort of equity and like knowing and understanding like when my money comes in, like what I put to superannuation, what I put to tax. And, you know, I'm asked questions because I don't understand it because I've never worked in finance and I don't know too much finance because I, you know, like what it was like living and growing up.
Yep.
So it's seeking advice and seeking education, I think, and sort of also just like asking questions because you won't know until you ask. And no question is a dumb question with finance. Like, but you know, I'm bougie as well. I'm bougie black fellas. That's what we say. But it's also justifying so what a need is and I guess what a want is and sort of just prioritizing what's more important. And I think, you know, making a little go a long way is really important.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, I should go eat out. And I'm like, oh, I've got food at home. And now I understand, like, when your mum used to say, there's food at home.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, well, look, I'm going to do my group therapy and then I'm going to do my financial counselling. I'm going to be a new person come next week.
Oh my God, we're evolving. I feel like from the start of our podcast till now, like when we first did our episodes, to this season, like we've definitely evolved.
There's growth.
I think that's really important. I think also whoever's, you know, been listening from the start and you know till now, like I think we would both see that.
That's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Not So PG. If you love us, leave us a 5-star rating and a little review.
And if you want to tell us something, follow us on socials and slide into the DMs. My handle is at Brooke.Blurton and Maddie's handle is at It's Maddie Mills. And you can follow all of the Nova Podcast action over at Nova Podcast Official. Okay, bye.
Bye.